25 years hanging around Marine Max at Lake of the Ozarks. Lars Strom, it's great to have a chance to talk to you and learn a little bit about your boating background and history. First question for you, I guess, is how'd you get started in kind of the boat racing thing?
First, thanks for having me. And it started in Sweden way back in the early 60s.
What age would you say you first got in a boat and went, oh, this is pretty neat?
That was in my dad's little rowboat with an Everroot, and I was 6-7 years old.
And from there, what size Everroot was that?
That was the old Everroot, world famous fisherman, 5.5 horsepower.
And from there, you grew up a little bit more and decided you kind of got the bug about racing?
I got into watching other people race, and I remember Jimbo McConnell and Reggie Fountain and all those big names racing in Europe. And that's how it started, and I said one day I want to do that, and I got a deal. I won a couple of races, and then I got a letter from OMC, Everett Johnson, and they hired me as a test driver and a race driver later on.
So most of that activity was in Europe, I mean offshore there, as opposed to coming to America to race?
Well, most of the racing I did in the beginning was in Europe. OMC had a headquarter in Europe, in Belgium, and we raced the big overseas races, the Paris 6 hours, the Bristol and Amsterdam and Rotterdam, and I even went down to South Africa and raced.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So these were not course races necessarily, but it was from this point to that point.
No, it was a circuit like a NASCAR race. You have a 2 or 3 point race course, and you're one person on board, and back then there was no safety. You didn't strap in, you just jumped on board and drive for 6 hours or whatever it was, 3-hour races, a 1-hour race, a sprint race.
You showed me a little video of you and your brother, and you were in the boat getting ready to go. Describe that boat to me.
That was back when OMC started to race the V8 outboards in the Formula One class, and there was a 500 horsepower when they were as good as best, and there was a 2-stroke V8 on a very light tunnel boat, and top speed 145 miles an hour with no safety. Pretty crazy.
You mentioned Formula One. Of course, people around Lake of the Ozarks know the name Seabold.
Yes.
Tell us about your relationship with those guys.
I know the Seabolds for many years, and especially Billy. And Billy is the very, very best, and he's a good. Now when he's retired, he's a very good spokesperson for the sport, and he's done a lot of good stuff for everybody enjoying racing. He's a very good man.
Tim
he was a Mercury man, I don't know, but
oh yeah, we need to mention that, right? Tim, I've watched Tim race a feu times, and of course he's sold store now and sort of retired a little bit, but he kind of kept that going, didn't he?
If I understand right, Tim is involved organizing Formula One races in the United States now. I don't know how much or what type of promotion he's doing, but that's what I read somewhere. I haven't talked to him, but that's what I read.
You come back to Lake of the Ozarks, you travel a lot. You've got a nice, beautiful motorhome, and you travel a lot. But you come back to Lake of the Ozarks, why?
First of all, when I came here the first time in 1993, I couldn't believe it, because nobody in Florida or in the South, they know about Lake of the Ozarks. So when I got here, and I got invited for the offshore race the first year, 93, and we did go to the Partico. It was a different location. I said, my God, this is something else. And we started to come back here, and I ended up buying a ranch at the other end of the lake outside Warsaw. And then I purchased a boat, and I've been hanging out at Marine Max for the last 10 years,
The boating market is ever changing, and what people want and what's cool and what's more efficient and more splashy or better looking and that more useful, I guess, for families or whatever kind of boating people do. But the trend recently has been to more outboards. I know you're happy about that.
Well, I'm an outboard man, and I love to see how the outboards are taking off again, and big outboards are selling more or less like the way they used to do, or even better. And I guess people are more daytime boat users. They want to go out for a day and come back home. They don't have the need to stay on board anymore, and outboards fit that boating lifestyle, I guess. Center consoles is the new thing. You know?
Oh, yeah.
The new has been on for years, but it's taking off now.
And they're getting big.
Oh,
I mean, 40, 50 footers.
Yeah, I did see MTI. They have a 57, I think. And I guess that's the local guy here at the lake.
Yes.
And I know Randy. He built some amazing boats, you know.
And Sensation's got a new big center console out. Nortec. I mean, there's so many of them that are coming out that way now. And they are, you're like you say, for a day boater.
I read that Nortec has 150 boats on back order. They can't build enough boats. A friend of mine is the distributor for Sweden, and he's been waiting for the new 45. He ordered with 5 outboards, and I think he's been waiting for over half a year now.
Wow. Lars, great talking to you. Thanks for the memories of helping Evinrude become what they became, and I know you're proud of that. Let me ask you one other question about a couple of things that happen here in the arena of racing. One would be lake race, and 2 would be the shootout, of course. Mm-hmm. Both very different events. Tell me about lake race. What are your thoughts about lake race?
Well, I did see the first year. I remember we could have had more boats. I remember that. And I think the location was good, but we didn't have much luck with the weather. There was a lot of rain, and boat racing need nice weather. And I've been to the shootout and many times, and that's kind of incredible how you can make that event to such a big international event.
Right.
So that's fun.
Well, it was great talking to you. Thank you so much. Do appreciate it. And as always, it's great seeing you back here at the lake.
Thanks for having me, and I see the governor's coming in. Karina's coming back from Zumba class.
How are you? Hi, how are you?
Doing great.
No, you had company.
Yeah, okay.
Lars, thank you again very much, and Karina, thanks for your hospitality near a beautiful motorhome, and we hope to see you in many years forward around Lake of the Ozarks and at Marine Max. The Marine Dealers Association